We finally have our first look at Black Ops 6 Zombies gameplay, specifically on Terminus. In fact, not just a sneak peek, not even just a preview, a full 17 minutes of raw footage with the HUD removed. I wish they didn't put motion blur on it though. And they've also released a massive blog post, literally like a 40-minute long blog post detailing literally everything to know about the gameplay. Honestly, whilst I'm very excited for everything I'm about to detail, the mode looks so good. They've described it as the perfect blend between Black Ops 3 Zombies and Cold War Zombies. I do wish that a bit more secrets were kept until launch. I think jumping into these things initially for the first time would have been a lot of fun, but nevertheless, I'm so excited for this game, and Treyarch have confirmed this year is just going to be focusing entirely on round-based. All of the DLC content, aside from side modes, little modes that might release, is just going to be round-based. Some leaks surfaced earlier about Outbreak returning on an upcoming Avalon Warzone map. However, the leaks are incorrect. It is not going to be with Black Ops 6, it's going to be coming with Black Ops 7. It might have been delayed until then. If you didn't know, COD 2025 is going to be yet another Black Ops game, so that's when we're going to see that. But Outbreak and round-based are going to be in COD 2025, and I don't see any reason to complain. We're literally getting a full year of round-based content this year, and then in COD 2025 we're getting even more round-based content and Outbreak as well, just like they had in Cold War Zombies. Now, according to leaks, there's going to be 4 DLC maps, so only 6 in total, which I think is quite low considering we've been waiting for round-based for quite some time, but that could be because COD 2025 is around the corner with more round-based content. Honestly, 1 per season would be ideal. Now, before I get into all of the gameplay details, they did also unveil a sneak preview of Liberty Falls, and we're getting the full gameplay reveal at Call of Duty Next on August 28th. And they confirmed the jet gun is going to be on this map, like we've thought for a very long time, and it does play the original round change noise, and you hear what looks to be a transit horn sound from the bus. So it is apparently going to be featuring a remake of Town within it, and I'm so excited to see more about that map. But anyways, Treyarch are doing literally everything we could have ever asked for in this game. They have been listening to feedback, and that's what you're about to find out as I detail all of the gameplay details. Treyarch have really been listening. It's been a 4-year gap between Cold War Zombies, and we've had a couple mediocre Zombies experiences in the meantime, but they are really making up for it with this game. So let's get into absolutely everything. So Treyarch have said, purely focused on the round-based Zombies action coming to the game, the following intel barrage features extensive comms direct from the Treyarch Zombies team and includes a detailed gameplay overview and deep dive, as well as pre-game preparation. So I guess they want us to be ready for launch. They say that they're going to teach us what to expect and a terrifying look at the dark bestiary of the undead currently haunting Terminus Island. So whilst we only have Terminus gameplay, and a lot of what I'm about to detail is going to be specific to Terminus, they've revealed a lot of stuff such as all of the perks and other features that are obviously unanimous with many different modes. Now, whilst Treyarch have given us this blog to detail all of the gameplay, there are secrets in the gameplay trailer, and there's a lot more storyline information, so I'll be having upcoming videos talking more in depth about that stuff. So located in the Philippine Sea is the remote Terminus Island complex. Historical date indicates a pre-World War II coal mining operator on the island. Abandoned around 1932, 10 years later, Terminus became a forward US naval base, mothballed until 1965. The CIA converted it into a top-secret outpost used for the detention of blank. In 1984, blank, once again redacted. In 1986, Project Janus took over the island, which is Richtofen's operation, building a laboratory in the subterranean mining caves. So yeah, whilst this deep dive, which I'll have linked to in the description as well, is mainly focusing on gameplay stuff, they're also giving us new storyline information as well. So I have no idea what Terminus was used for before Richtofen took it over with Project Janus in 1986, but something was going on there that seems to be important to the storyline, so we will have to see if that's explored further. After Peck and Maya break the Requiem crew out of their prison cells, they soon learn this is a bio-research station for Project Janus. Your handlers are Peck and Strauss, so they're going to be communicating to you on the radio transmission similar to Cold War Zombies, talking to us as we're doing the Easter egg and as we're unlocking Pack-a-Punch and doing things on the map and giving us clues and communicating, giving us the story stuff. So it would have been nice to see them as playable characters, but they'll just be basically handling operations for us. But we will obviously have to escape the map with them, so I don't know if we have to recruit them at the end of the Easter egg and gather with them to then escape. And for the richer story experience, you'll want to choose your operator crew from Gregory Weaver, Elizabeth Gray, Mackenzie Mac Carver, and Maya Aguinaldo, the dedicated crew of characters. So obviously we already know this is the set crew, but you can choose any operator in the game, and these characters are operators as well. It's just that if you choose these characters specifically, they will have unique dialogue for the Easter egg, whereas all of the other characters, I guess, guess are considered non-canon, or they're just considered to be the strike team. They're not really anything, you know, story rich. You're not going to be getting unique quotes, unique dialogue. It's going to be pretty basic stuff. And there's apparently tons of character interactions between the crew, giving you lots of dialogue, and in a recent story trailer, they did imply that we will be sticking with this same crew in the DLC. So Maya probably fails to rescue her brother, he's taken elsewhere, and we have to track him down, she wants revenge or something else. She's probably going to be sticking with us though. Of course, we don't play as them on Liberty Falls, it's just operators and elite unit, but that might be specific for that map. But in most of the DLC, it's probably going to be this crew. So like I said, they're going to be revealing more about Liberty Falls, and this is the description they gave. They say, almost hell, West Virginia. Footage from an incursion at a once quaint, now overrun West Virginia town almost gives you the first glimpse at the second launch map. Seemingly the epicenter of a dark ether outbreak, chaos is crawling through Liberty Falls, with much of the local population now succumbing to the results of a second simultaneous dimensional breach. So as you know, the two outbreaks happened simultaneously, and the Easter eggs and the maps are taking place at the same time, so they will likely intercept. Whilst we're on Terminus, we know they're obviously going to be tracking down and trying to find the coordinates of Richtofen, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's actually at Liberty Falls. He activated a Dark Ether gateway here, and it caused Dark Ether outbreaks to crop up across the globe in weak spots, such as where Terminus is located as well. So the essence of Zombies, introducing how the round-based gameplay works. It's purely focused on creating the finest, most rewarding round-based experience Treyarch has ever made. Many of the gameplay systems you'll be reading about will be familiar to veteran Zombies players, while others are designed to grow the Zombies community and allow newer players to explore more of the main quest more easily. So I'll come on to that in a second. This is what I said at the start when I said Treyarch have been listening to feedback. They're giving us hard Easter eggs while still allowing new players to have something, which I'll come on to more in depth like I said. At its most basic level, one of the first Black Ops 6 round-based maps involves you and optionally up to 3 additional teammates, so you can play solo or up to 4 players. Like I said, it's unfortunate we couldn't play as the others as well. This would have been the perfect opportunity for a 6 or 7 player team. Exploring and eventually breaking out of a maximum security prison complex called Terminus Island with waves or rounds of undead foes to dispatch as you discover and complete objectives. Delve a little deeper and you realize your chances of survival are greatly enhanced by adept avoidance of the crowds of wandering corpses as you line up your killing blows, and just as importantly, by managing the main currencies of the game, essence and salvage. So they are back. So additional and new routes through a round-based Zombies map involve accessing blocked areas, either by unlocking doors or recovering obstacles, and both cost essence. So yeah, it's going to be a similar system to Cold War Zombies, I guess, to Modern Warfare 3 Zombies to some degree as well. It's kind of a bit of a mixture, at least in this way, which I'll come on to now. So as some areas have multiple routes to discover, you must weigh up the cost of unlocking these through fares, while at the same time spending essence on perks and pack-a-punch weaponry to strengthen yourself against the ever-growing undead hordes. As your knowledge grows, you'll utilize other gameplay elements to your benefit, creating powerful offensive weaponry and studying areas of the map where there's a good amount of maneuvering space when larger, higher round Zombies hordes require rounding up and training. So there's going to be really tight spots and more open spots as well, a good mix of both, which always makes for the best Zombies experience. So essence takes the form of points you rapidly accrue by slaying zombies, so it's just like Cold War basically, and occasionally appears as vials of Dark Ether essence that sometimes drop from tougher enemies, or I guess maybe in secret spots again like in Cold War Zombies or in Outbreak. You use essence in the following ways: to access objective related devices. In Terminus, these are devices that power the station to further your progress, to unlock doors, with some allowing you to pay for half the unlocking cost, sharing the essence amount with a teammate for the first time in Black Ops. So yes, this is a big change. You are going to be able to share the essence amount. If you want to open a door, you're not going to have to do the brunt of the cost. And they actually had this in Infinite Warfare Zombies, but it seems like it's going to be better than Infinite Warfare Zombies, because in that game, for example, they would increase the door by 1,000 per extra person in your team, so it would be 4,000 instead of 1,000 in a 4-player game. And of course, that's just too much for one person if the other people don't want to contribute towards. So I hope they do that fairer this time around. But I like this system. It's a better co-op way, a co-op friendly thing. And you can also summon a tactical raft for aquatic expeditions with essence. So we actually saw this as well. It's going to allow you to go around the map, and of course there's definitely some secrets in the water that we'll need to go on the raft for within the Easter egg and other Easter eggs, side Easter eggs I mean, to purchase Perk-a-Colas from perk machines to add specific advantage to your operators via a single machine, or a Wonder Fizz that vends all perk cans on a particular map. So obviously that's come to expect. Treyarch are basically recapping all of the basic stuff most veterans have come to expect from Zombies, but they will dive a lot deeper into the more in-depth stuff and the new stuff in a second, which I will of course come on to. But I'm sure people watching this video, a lot of people might be new to the Call of Duty scene in recent years. Maybe you've just jumped in with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and you need a refresher on some of these things. Anyways, to purchase upgrades for currently utilized weapons from the Pack-a-Punch machine, which allows you to do tier 1, 2, or 3 once again, that increases weapon potency and ammunition reserves, as well as occasionally offering unexpected effects. So I think they've kind of changed the way that the Pack-a-Punch is working in this game to be more traditional, because back in the day, in old Zombies games, when you would Pack-a-Punch certain weapons, a really bad weapon, for example, could become insane when Pack-a-Punching because it would have some sort of special effect. For example, the M1911, of course, would turn to the Mustang and Sally's, which would have explosive rounds, and yeah, there's going to be secret effects like that, as well as Essence will be used, of course, to purchase ammo from the ammo caches, so they're back as well to purchase an additional weapon with a weapon rarity from a weapon war buy, to upgrade additional armor from an armor war buy. So there's armor war buy and there's tier 2 or tier 3, so they've changed up the way armor works a bit, which I'll detail more how armor works later on as we dive deeper. So as well, you can purchase a random weapon with a rarity rating from a mystery box and more. So it's going to be, I assume, like Cold War Zombies, where the higher in the round you go, the greater the chance of a better rarity weapon in the mystery box, and the same probably goes with the war weapons as well, but to a lesser extent. Or you can start a special trial challenges. So the trials are back for loot for completing challenges, just like we had in Cold War Zombies, which I'm happy about. I think that was a really sweet feature. The next thing, the other form of currency is salvage, again back from Cold War. Small piles of junk with a green outline found randomly from fallen enemies. In a quality of life improvement, players now only need to manage one type of salvage, as opposed to collecting both normal and high grade salvage in Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, they had different rarity salvage in Cold War. Some would give more, some less, but they've just unified it with just one now. So it's going to be basically probably just an average amount of the two of them, how much salvage you get per drop. It's not really a crazy change, to be honest, but nevertheless, I kind of actually liked the way that the higher in the round you would get, or the more difficult zombies you would take out, it would give you better higher tier salvage. But yeah, anyways, it's not really a big change. Salvage drops are now also player specific, so you won't have to worry about teammates picking up your hard-earned salvage before you can. That's a nice change. That's definitely a nice change. Honestly, I didn't even think of it being a problem in Cold War. Mainly played solo, but yeah, that was definitely an issue there. You could be just killing an entire horde, someone could come in, swoop down, and slide and just take everything. So you can use salvage in the following ways: to access an ammo mod and apply a special elemental power to your current weapon via an arsenal machine, to upgrade the rarity tier of your weapon so it inflicts more damage via an arsenal machine, or to build specific tactical equipment via a crafting table, to build specific lethal equipment again by the tactical crafting table, or support equipment via the crafting table. So there's now an arsenal machine or a crafting table, so they basically just separated them into two separate machines. It's different to in Cold War Zombies, where, you know, you had the crafting table, you had then the armor machine that would, you know, you would need to do it for the armor or your weapon rarity. Now they've distinguished it, so yeah, that's nice there, because then there's a separate thing for armor, like I mentioned before. So now the big piece of information regarding the main quest. This is so player friendly, so I'm going to jump into it now. So every Zombies map has a main quest that you are left to your own devices to solve, aka the main Easter eggs, usually after the route to the Pack-a-Punch machine has been completed. I find it interesting they pointed out usually. I'm trying to think of any Zombies maps where if you didn't have Pack-a-Punch unlocked, you were able to complete the quest. I guess it's probably happened at some point. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I don't know if they're hinting that that's going to be the case for some of the maps in the game. I don't know if at launch or DLC, we'll have to see. Dark Ops challenges are going to be returning as well. Anyways, the main quest for Terminus follows a similar pattern, and you are free to fully explore the prison area, ocean, and smaller islands with tactical rafts at your disposal to explore one of the largest round-based Zombies maps ever created. So Terminus is apparently absolutely huge. Liberty Falls is probably going to be quite significantly smaller, since it's been described as a more casual map, with Terminus being a lot more difficult, and that excites me. But it does seem like things like the raft and stuff like that are kind of going to be dead space, a lot of the water and stuff like that. So whilst it is going to be a huge map, there's going to be areas that you won't go in often. You might just go for specific reasons, and I like that. I like there just being a main map, but then there's deep undercover levels as well you can explore for Easter egg related stuff. One of the more thrilling aspects of round-based zombies is the complete freedom you are given to investigate a variety of odd, out of the way and seemingly innocuous parts of the map. Sometimes there's nothing to find, sometimes an audio log, document, or strange artifact offers a clue to further discoveries. Occasionally an entire hidden set of objectives is unearthed. So it seems like there's going to be lots of side quests in this game that is going to be absolutely littered, way more than we had in Cold War Zombies. And like I said, there's going to be lots of dead space, especially on Terminus, I'd imagine. Being able to go out there with the raft, there's probably so many different secrets out there and side things to do. By their very nature, Easter eggs are redacted, and that's literally meaning they're redacted and secret and cannot be discussed, though we can state that veteran Zombies players should expect plenty of side quests to discover as you dive deeper into the secrets of Terminus Terminus Island. I'm so happy. I honestly don't even know how many side quests are going to be in this, especially because it's been developed for 4 years. There must be so many. So while Treyarch is focused on making the main quest for each of Black Ops 6's maps more challenging than those found in Black Ops Cold War, the studio is also adding an all-new guided mode to welcome more players into the world of zombies. This mode is planned to release later in season after each map's launch to protect the sanctity of the traditional Easter egg hunt, where the community puts their heads together to find and complete the main quest and side quests every time a new map launches. So the community has actually been asking for this ever since Cold War a lot. In Cold War Zombies, they made the Easter eggs easier because they said they didn't want to keep the Easter eggs. They wanted casuals to be able to enjoy the story too, and they didn't want you to look up a million different YouTube videos. So people said, well, what if you have a non-guided version, a hard version of the Easter egg at launch, but then after it's solved, they can release a casual version that's more guided and easier to walk through, so everyone can enjoy it. And that is exactly what they're doing. But it's not going to be there on launch, but that's fine. The main hard version of the Easter egg will be there at launch, so we'll be able to experience the hard Easter eggs on launch, but then there's going to be a casual version later on. In this mode, players will receive focused guidance through the main quest with rounds capped to certain stages of the quest progression. All side quests and other Easter eggs will be disabled to ensure experiencing the narrative in a singular priority. If you've ever been curious about jumping into the zombie story with both feet, this is your time. So all main quests are going to be able to be accessed during this. Players who complete a map's main quest will earn unique rewards themed after their respective map, with an extra reward for completing the main Easter egg the old-fashioned way. Players will also earn a limited time calling card for completing a main quest before the launch of the guided mode for that map, and long-time fans will be happy to know they'll have the option to keep playing their match after completing the quest. So yeah, it's not going to be there on launch. We'll be having to wait until season 1 or whatever for the guided version to release, but there's going to be a unique reward to unlock before the guided version is out, because obviously once the guided version is out, people can play the guided version first to understand what to do, and then jump into the hard version without the guided version. And yeah, this is absolutely awesome. I do wonder about leaks though. Maybe the guided version could accidentally leak out, making it easier to do the hard version, which I hope they have things like that under wraps. But this is the perfect scenario. I'm so excited to enjoy these harder Easter eggs with puzzles and things like that all over again, like we used to back in the day. Also, they've announced completing the main quest will not end the game on the maps, which I don't know if that is the canon storyline wise and Terminus failed to actually escape the island, or if that's just for gameplay purposes. Or maybe you'll just carry on the game after they've exfilled as operators. Update: as I've been recording this video, Treyarch have actually said that they are working hard to ensure data miners can't leak the guided steps ahead of time, so I hope this is actually true. And they have also said that the number of people completing main quests has been a lot lower than they've hoped, which is why they made them easier in Cold War, and is why they're having the guided options in Black Ops 6. But this is the best way to do it, so now it's going to be perfect because there's going to be an option for hardcore players and casuals too, and the guided quests are going to launch several weeks after the standard one does. So yeah, it's not going to be straight away. It's not even going to be a week or two after. There's going to be plenty of time for people to do the hard version first. Now, exfilling is back as well. Exfil or expire. At some point, even the most hard and strategically focused zombies players need to extricate themselves for the relentless hordes, and once you want to leave Terminus, you can call upon Raptor 1 to locate a landing site while you race to secure it before you are all overwhelmed. After clearing the vicinity, you may live to see another match. Or you can continue to explore the island, facing tougher and tougher crowds of ghoulish entities until you succumb to the threats. Either way, your personal best is tracked and logged, so you know when you've bettered a previous attempt. So as you know, in the Terminus intro cutscene, Raptor 1 mentions he's going to be finding an exfil site, so he's going to be the one exfilling us. I don't know who's protecting him against the zombies. Is he going to be fighting against zombies physically on the map? We might see him in the distance at the exfil spot. I don't know how he's going to be safe whilst he's the one who's going to be exfilling us, and he's going to be waiting there when we're not actually ready. Now, in terms of the zombies' movement, so players can sprint, slide, and dive in any direction, forward, sidestepping, and backpedaling, seamlessly chaining combat maneuvers together, all with a full 360-degree range of motion. This is Omni movement, and the extra dexterity this brings to your maneuvers is nothing short of game-changing. So this is the biggest thing I'm excited for zombies in this game, because the movement's going to revolutionize the way we train and deal with the zombie hordes and move about. And it seems like from leaked gameplay, you can get so much momentum and fluidity with it, and I cannot wait to jump into zombies, especially with perks like stamina up and stuff like that, being able to move quicker. I'm sure maybe perks in the DLC, which I will come onto perks in the future in this video, but there might be perks in the DLC as well that affect Omni movement, so I'm so excited for what Treyarch put up and cook. So as veteran zombies players will attest to, using your dexterity is key to dodging a crowd of incoming undead in a narrow play space. Perfecting Omni movement allows a full range of action hero stunts, whether it's sprinting backwards from a horde, diving sideways through a window or automatically mantling low fences or scenery. Thanks to intelligent movements, which you can optionally set to automatic, you can expertly circle strafe your foes. So yeah, there's this intelligent design. Obviously, if you're an expert, you're not going to be able to use that, but this means that everyone can get used to the movement and learn it, and it'll know what to do for you, basically. But I'm sure it's going to make mistakes sometimes as well. Imagine if it just throws you into a horde. That's not going to be a good thing. But anyways, if you really want to see our new moves in action, try out the ability to switch from first to third person perspective and the shoulder you are watching while in third person mode for the first time in round-based zombies. So they added third person mode in Modern Warfare 3 zombies, but no one really used it that much. I wonder how often people are going to use it in round-based zombies. So yeah, you're able to turn this on in the settings to change your perspective at any time, mid-game, pre-game, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I think people won't really use this too much. It might come in useful for specific things. Maybe there's even going to be Easter egg steps where you need to use it. Now, regarding the heads-up display options, so the HUD is going to be very similar to the multiplayer HUD, once again, just like recent Zombies experiences, which I know some people have been annoyed about. However, you are able to fully customize the HUD. You can remove things, move the position of things, just like in multiplayer and also the campaign too. So they're not going over in the blog everything you can change with the HUD, but they've done some highlights on what you're able to change. So you have the ability to choose from a variety of HUD layouts. Yes, that includes a legacy setting that removes the minimap and positions elements in the same place as the HUD in Black Ops 3. So apparently there's a Black Ops 3 style HUD. Now it just says position, so I don't think it's actually going to look like Black Ops 3's HUD, but it's just going to be positioned similar to it. Now there is also the ability to turn off the health bar and zombie hit point damage that appear with each successful impact. Full readability options, part of the large scale undertaking related to accessibility settings for both vision and cognition. So yeah, you can remove things that are annoying, like the pop-ups, the medals, the XP things if you don't want that. You also have the ability to select a custom color palette for your interface, icons, and maps, as well as robust mini map settings. So we already knew this from the multiplayer announcement. You also have the ability to turn off Pack-a-Punch weapon camos to preserve the look of your weapon customization. While the HUD is supremely customizable, it's worth showing the default display so you can see how and where all of the useful information is displayed. So you can see on screen the default one, and then you can see the legacy one, which is supposed to be styled around Black Ops 3. But as you can see, whilst it's in similar positions to Black Ops 3, it's very different to Black Ops 3, let's be real. It doesn't look anything like it beyond somewhat similar positions, but it's not a crazy difference. But you can move things around anywhere you want as well, so that's great. So yeah, I'm not going to go into everything regarding the HUD. They do detail it in the blog, but you know what the HUD is. I'm sure you've been playing zombies for a while. I don't need to go over that. Now let's go over the pre-game preparation. So there's a new thing called augments. You're also able to customize perks, ammo mods, and field upgrades prior to your game. So there's a new thing called augments, which provide a rich and innovative customization experience, allowing you to invest into research between matches, unlocking augments for every perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade in the game. Each perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade has a research path accessed in the pre-game menus between matches. Revelations you make during your research allow you to unlock the true power of each item, which take the form of augments. A total of 6 augments per item, 3 minor and 3 major are yours to uncover. So you have a minor augment, which offers a limited advantage to the item, usually during use, and then you have a major augment, which offers a substantial advantage to the behavior of the item, usually during use. So this is a major new thing that they have added. Now there's actually going to be over 100 augments, so there's so many cool things to enjoy. So from the 6 researched augments, you can imbue 2 of them, 1 minor, 1 major, to each perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade. So basically this is similar to the perk tiers or the tiers for everything else with the crystals and Cold War zombies, but so I think this is a really innovative way to do it, and I guess it's kind of a bit like the Covenants from Vanguard zombies in a little way as well. Augments are designed to create a deep progression path, as well as offering you the ability to delve into research that benefits your style of play. Experimenting with all the available augments, learning how they interact with other augments for perks, ammo mods, and field upgrades, and also how your fellow teammates are using their preferred setups provides an incredible depth to the experience. So this is huge. Now regarding weapons and loadouts. So neutralizing the frothing undead requires more than harsh words and bravado. You are fortunate to be able to count on an extensive armory from which to perfect your anti-zombie armaments before the battles begin. Let's get to the gunsmith and find out more about perfecting your pre-game loadouts. So you have stats and camos. Naturally, each of these loadout elements have zombies related challenges and badges related to them, and the weapons have camos to grind for. So there are actually specific zombies masteries to unlock, separate to multiplayer and Warzone, which have unique ones too. This includes 4 highly desirable mastery camos and zombies. There's apparently going to be a zombie specific diamond camo as well, like Plague Diamond or something like that. So we have keeping score. There's no need to manually tally on how many zombies each individual weapon, primary melee field upgrade, upgrade, tactical or lethal has eliminated, this menu keeps a score. So you're going to be able to see all of that in the menu. You don't need to open up the stats. Creating and continuing to adapt your zombie culling arsenal is the key to in-game success, and the Black Ops 6 loadout system shares many features from Black Ops Cold War, as well as a few important differences. So we have primary weapons, fist, and melee. Your main method of eliminating the undead consists of a primary weapon, your fist, until you find a second weapon in the match, and a dedicated melee weapon, either sharp or blunt, for when the situation gets even messier, as an alternative to melee strike with the butt of your gun. It would be nice to be able to pull out your fist as well, even if you have two weapons, but I guess they don't want you to obviously not face the benefits of having an LMG or a heavy weapon just by being able to switch to your fist to run around faster. Now, for your primary weapon, you can choose from any available assault rifle, SMG, shotgun, LMG, marksman rifle, sniper rifle, handgun, or launcher. So yeah, just like Cold War Zombies, you can jump in with any weapon. I know this is controversial, but you can, of course, still pick a handgun or whatever, and I don't really think this is a big deal. Maybe Treyarch will have some sort of mode post-launch that's going to be specific for your loadout, and there's going to be maybe a stripped-back mode like classic Zombies where you work your way up more and you progress more, but it seems like there's still a lot to unlock during your actual game. You also can choose from different melee armaments. So there's further things as well. So weapons can also be purchased with essence and war buys, of course. They can be dropped and swapped by teammates. You can also improve your weapon rarity in your game, so weapon rarities are back. You can also apply different ammo modes to the game. Found at arsenal machines. So yeah, that's separate to the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now they've basically just separated it, so the arsenal machine will allow you to do the ammo mods as opposed to you needing to go to the Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch now has no menu, which I'll come onto in a bit, but this is a big change, but I'll come onto that in a second. I guess this is why they made the ammo mods part of the arsenal machines now, so that you don't have to have a pop-up menu when you go to it. So you can also improve significantly with damage, sometimes hidden effects, and additional ammunition reserves at the Pack-a-Punch machine. You can use the zombie build system found in a war buy or a mystery box as one of your own personal weapon builds, provided you've saved the custom build and assigned it to be accessible at a war buy or mystery box. So that's also a huge change as well. In the loadout menu before a match, this will even implement the camo, charm, and stickers you've applied to your zombie build weapon, so you can put specific stuff in the box you want with specific attachments or whatever you want. Now, regarding field upgrades, so of course you know how field upgrades work, but at launch they're very similar to past games. In fact, they're exactly the same. So there's only going to be familiar ones at launch. So we have Ether Shroud, which allows you to phase into the dark ether, becoming hidden from enemy detection. You have Frenzied Guard, repair armor and force all enemies in the area to target you during this time. Kills repair a portion of your armor. You have Healing Aura, summons beams of energy down on yourself and allies to instantly revive and heal to full health. You have Energy Mine, create a mine of pure energy that detonates in rapid succession, dealing lethal electric damage. Of course, these are limited time activations, and depending on which one, they have different amounts of time. There will also be a brand new field upgrade, offering a new and immersive offering. So it's called Dark Flare. You generate a massive energy beam that deals lethal shadow damage. The beam penetrates everything in its path, so it seems like this was actually cut from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, so I'm glad we're getting this now. There's been other ones found in the files, so maybe they'll come in DLC, and some returning ones might come in DLC as well, such as Ring of Fire, although people thought it was overpowered, so I think that's why maybe they haven't brought it back. So there's some further improvements. Field upgrades can be made even more powerful with the use of augments, like I mentioned before. Field upgrades cannot be dropped, but now, for the first time in Zombies, you can swap to a different field upgrade at any time during a match by the in-game menu. Now, I don't know why, but in Cold War Zombies, it used to let me change mine in the game. I don't know if this was a glitch or something, but yeah, your cooldown will reset when you change to a different field upgrade, but I don't think this is a major change. So we have more information about the Dark Flare to sort of give you an example of how these new features work. So with some promising mass takedowns during previous matches, you begin focusing on researching the Dark Flare field upgrade between matches and start to unlock the minor and major augments, adding yet more power to future uses of this field upgrade. Once fully researched, you have the following 3 minor augments and 3 major augments to choose from. Before your next match, you simply choose one minor and major augment depending on your specific needs, and can swap between other augments between matches. We went with these. So the minor augment is a heavy shadow. Zombies impacted by the beam are slowed. You have the major augment, which is Shadow Ball. The beam is replaced with a sphere that damages enemies as it travels and detonates at the end of the duration. So yeah, it's very similar to Cold War Zombies upgrades, but now you have different skill trees basically, and you don't have to go with Dark Flare. You can choose something else that you want to focus on, you want to focus your research on and make better, which I think is good, so you don't have everything fully maxed out like in Cold War Zombies. You can choose specific things. Now regarding the tactical lethals and support equipment at the crafting table. So unlike Black Ops Cold War, you are facing down zombie hordes with the choice of tactical and lethal equipment that you can bring into the infill with you. So the tactical equipment at the crafting table, you have to buy these with salvage from ground loot, but of course they cost different amounts of salvage, just like in previous games. So we have the concussion, the stim shot, the smoke grenade, decoy grenade, shock charge, simple monkey, aka the monkey bomb, and the LT-53 Casimir, which is basically the Ghost device. We then have the lethal equipment, which is a frag grenade, a sticky grenade, a Molotov, a C4, combat axe, an impact grenade, a thermo grenade, a blast trap. There are also some special tactical and lethals that are intermittently dropped by zombies to be gathered as ground loot. A full complement of tacticals and lethals can be constructed at crafting tables along with more powerful ordnance, and you can get tactical and lethals as ground loot as well from zombies. Now we have support equipment again at the crafting table. So we have a self-revive, we have the ARCXD, which is just the ACRD, which is an explosive RC car that emits small ether blast. We saw this before as well, which is back. We have a sentry turret, and finally we have mutant injections, which will temporarily transform you into a mangler with all bells and whistles. So literally you'll be a mangler. What a crazy score streak. Now these are just examples. There's not only going to be 4 score streaks available at launch or equipment or whatever, there's going to be more. This is just a small selection. They don't want to spoil everything, but I'm glad they're adding zombie specific score streaks now instead of just copy and pasting everything from multiplayer. This is great. So going more into the mutant injection, like I said, you transform into a mangler with a serum. You grow an additional 3 feet taller, becoming this massive monstrosity, which will give you a vicious melee swipe, a ranged mangler, cannon attack, and a zombie killing, barging sprint, all with some seriously impressive damage upgrades. Your new form even allows redacted, so I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure probably in the Easter egg, maybe you're going to have to be this mangler, and it's great because this really reminds me of, for example, in Black Ops 3 Zombies, where you could turn into a spider on Zetsubou no Shima. I love being able to turn into the actual enemies, and I really wonder what the other score streaks are. Now, regarding the lore of the mutant injection, I wonder why this has come about. Is this ripped off into experiments? Have they been made from taking Requiem's DNA and other people exposed to the Dark Ether's DNA? Anyways, going into the gobblegum machine, which is now going to be Mr. Peaks instead of Dr. Monty, we have the custom packs. So basically, you can choose 5 gobblegums in your pack. So crack your teeth, as well as the skulls of the undead, with a variety of custom gobblegum packs based on your stored reserves of the killer candy. Pick a single pack to bring with you, with each pack containing 5 different single-use gobblegums that you've chosen to access during a match via a special confectionery machine that holds each gobblegum in your pack and spits out 1 randomly once you interact with it. So yeah, you'll just get 1. There was some rumors before saying it'll spit out 3, but that was actually incorrect. The gobblegums you can choose are based on the collection you have in your inventory. One of the ways to continuously keep your gobblegum collection filled is by earning them in-game, so I'm going to go over that in a second. So gobblegums are single-use items and are permanently removed from your inventory once received in-game. So it seems like this is going to be a fair system. It's not going to be gambling. So here we have the gobblegum rarity. So there's rare, epic, legendary, ultra, and whimsical once again, which are just ones for fun, with the general rule that the higher the rarity, the more powerful the effect of the gobblegum. They say general rule, so I guess this is not an absolute one, of course. So some examples of rare gobblegums include Shields Up, which is your armor is twice as strong for 3 minutes, and Killjoy, which spawns an insta-kill power-up. We have epic gobblegums. Examples include Free Fire, which allows firing weapons consumes no ammo for the next 60 seconds, and Soda Fountain, the next perk purchase gives an additional random perk. So lots are returning from Black Ops 3, but some are different. We have a legendary gobblegum, which examples include Phoenix Up, which revives all teammates and they keep their perks, and wall-to-wall clearance, Warby's cost 10 essence. Ultra gobblegums, which include Perkaholic, which gives the player all Perka-Colas in the map, which is currently 9, which I'll come on to in a second, and Wonder Bar. The next gun from the mystery box will be a wonder weapon. We then have whimsical gobblegums, which include Antonian Negation, zombies killed fall straight up for 3 minutes. Again, this one we had before. Exceptions to this are the whimsical gobblegums are, of course, which as the name suggests, provide effects that aren't focused on giving you an advantage, but instead just hilarious or entertaining effects. So Mr. Peaks is only too happy to provide you with an in-game confectionery machine from which to extricate your gob stoppers. Simply interact with it, no essence required, so they were free in Black Ops 3, but they weren't at launch, but they made them free eventually, at least for your first gobblegum spin, so they're following suit again, and a gobblegum is randomly dropped, ready for pickup. The machine then cools down on a timer, or will be immediately reset on the next ground. Grab the sweet, and then it's added into your inventory and HUD. Now the only concern is it's on a timer. Surely it should be time gated instead, because you could just wait at the end of the round and then spin it again, especially if it's free. Of course, in Black Ops 3, the first spin was free, but then you had to pay. Now I get it on high rounds when a round might take a very long time, but on lower rounds, is the zombie just going to bleed out really soon at the end of a round to stop you from being able to just wait to spin the gobblegum again? How is that going to work? It's never really specified here. I hated the fact that they started introducing zombies bleeding out. It really prevented Easter egg hunts and stopped you being able to just chill and explore. I really didn't like that, so I don't know how they're going to deal with that. But anyways, grab the sweet and then it's added into your inventory and HUD. You can store up to 3 unique gobblegums at once, and use 1, 2, or all 3 of them at once as well. This may very well add many new dimensions to combat as these gobblegum effects interact with your fellow teammates and other augmentations and power-ups. So this is huge, a massive change from Black Ops 3, because you're able to literally use 3 at once. That's probably why the leak was incorrect. It doesn't spit 3 gobblegums out, you can get 3, but yeah, like I said, at the end of the round, I guess you can wait and stack up to 3, which is obviously going to take a while, but again, can you still just wait at the end of a round for ones past 3? I'm not sure. Now, these are further improvements to the gobblegums, so they cannot be dropped or shared, but you can swap to a different gobblegum pack at any time during a match by using the in-game menu. Changing the pack will reset the randomized order of the new pack. New gobblegums are earnable in-game simply for playing. Expect to earn 1 or more random gobblegums every few rounds. You'll know when you've been awarded a new gobblegum due to the reward sequence at the start of a subsequent round. So this is great that you're able to actually earn them in-game. This is completely changing the way it worked in Black Ops 3 Zombies. There's not a currency like liquid divinium you use. Just by playing the game, you will earn them. I assume you'll get more doing side quests and Easter eggs and different things like that. Any unused gobblegums are kept between machines, and you won't lose them if you happen to disconnect from a match. This is huge as well. So I'm so happy about these changes. They all sounds great, and I actually like that you're able to change packs mid-game. It'll reset the ones you have, of course. Some people don't like this because they say, well, you can have selected in your pack all the ones you want and then change to another one to get different ones you want. But I guess that is a fair point, but it depends on what gobblegums are actually in the game, what ones are going to be fair. For example, like if you use shopping free, you only really need that on early rounds, so then on a later round you might just switch to another pack for different ones. But yeah, we'll have to see how it's actually implemented in game, whether it's fair or not. Now regarding the perk colas, so they are going to be cans again and not bottles, and of course you can have up to 6 augment options to choose from, 3 minor or 3 major. Perks are purchased using essence and have been designed to offer a wide variety of bonuses that suit your play style, allowing you to choose the order and number you need. So yeah, there's no perk cap once again. There is also the Der Wunderfizz machine. People didn't really like it in Cold War Zombies because they said it made it too easy. You didn't need to go to the perk machines. With Terminus being described as such a large map though, I wonder if there's going to be quite limited spots. It might not be so easy to get to the Wunderfizz. On Liberty it might be though, because that's supposed to be an easier map intentionally. But yeah, these are the perks that are back. So we have Juggernog, which increases the maximum health by 100. Quick Revive increases the health regen delay by 50%, reduces the time it takes to revive an ally by 50%. We have Speed Cola, which increases the reload and armor replating speed by 30%. We have Stamina Up, which increases your movement speed. PhD Flopper is back. It was in Modern Warfare 3, not Slider. Flopper, which is immunity to all self-inflicted damage and status effects. Dive to prone triggers an explosion, which increases the higher you fall. Immunity from fall damage while diving to prone. However, PhD Flopper can be augmented into PhD Slider, so if you want to go that route, and you can flop as well as slide, because both are in the game, which I'm so happy about. I think that's how it should have been in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies as well. It's going to be so much fun. We then have Deadshot Daiquiri, aiming down sight moves to enemy critical location, increased enemy critical damage, elemental pop, every bullet you fire has a small chance to apply a random ammo mod effect. And then finally we have a brand new perk, which is Melee Macchiato, which replaces your weapon gun but with a deadly punch that sends enemies flying. So this is huge. We actually saw this in the gameplay as well. So far there's 8 here, but there'll be more coming in the DLC. So of course we have ones like Mule Kick missing. They'll probably all come in the DLC. We will have to wait and see. So yeah, there's no perk limit in this game, and when new perks are added post-launch, I assume there's going to be no limit as well. Now, Perk-a-Cola example and augments for Melee Macchiato. So for the minor augment is a hidden impact. Melee kills reload a portion of your held weapon. Major augment is vampirism. Successful melee attacks heal for 25 health. Before your next match, you simply choose 1 minor and 1 major augment depending on your specific needs, and can swap between other augments between matches. Now we have the ammo mods, the Arsenal machine. Again, you need salvage to access. Along with rarity and pack-a-punch capabilities, your primary weapon can be outfitted with an upgrade known as the ammo mod. Of course, I'm sure you're familiar with these already. And now, like I said, they're part of the Arsenal machine, they're not part of the pack-a-punch, and you will have to use salvage to actually buy them instead of essence. Only 1 ammo mod can be applied to your weapon at a time, but you can change it at any point if necessary. So these are the ones that are going to be on launch, but hopefully we'll be getting more post-launch as well. So we have Brain Rot back, Cryo Freeze back, Dead Wire back, Napalm Burst. And finally we have a new one, which is called Shadow Rift. Bullets deal shadow damage. Each bullet has a chance to spawn a black hole if striking normal or special enemies, warping nearby zombies away and dropping some from the air at high speed. So this sounds awesome. I can't wait to try out this new ammo mod. I'm so glad they're finally adding a new one. So here are some examples of some augments for Shadow Rift. Minor augment is targeted. Drop zombies fall on other zombies. Minor augment explosive rain. Zombies that are dropped dropped from portals will explode on contact with the ground. The Rampage Inducer is back as well, so those considering themselves advanced enough not to be troubled by zombies in the early rounds of a match can seek out an orange-hued container of ether crystals. So this was in Cold War Zombies and in Vanguard as well. It'll make the zombies a lot crazier, and it will allow you to progress rounds quicker as well on lower rounds if you feel ready. So when activated and with all team members agreeing on the activation, if you're in a multiplayer game, this drives zombies into an absolute frenzy. Zombies will appear and move more quickly for the first 20 rounds, and provided you aren't overwhelmed. This allows you to speed through the early rounds of a match, or you can return to the Rampage Inducer and vote to switch it off if the challenge was more than you bargained for. Now, I was hoping that we would get an infinite Rampage Inducer. I know people were asking for that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, information about ground loot. So you can get the green salvage, like I mentioned before. You can also get armor plates, which are white, the salvage is green. Providing you have fewer than 3 armor plates in your reserve inventory, you'll pick them up automatically. That you are carrying, not wearing. Plates are found on the ground are automatically picked up. The salvage is also automatically picked up. You then can obviously get tacticals, lethal, support equipment, and ammo mods at random from zombies as well, which are blue. We then have an ammo cache. Again, you need to use essence to buy it. They're dotted in many locations around the map and will allow you to refill your ammo with the cost of essence. The cost of the ammo increases as the power of your weapon goes up, so keep an eye on your essence levels as you continue to visit the Pack-a-Punch. So yeah, it's specific to your weapon, not all of your weapons. We then have the tactical raft, which I of course mentioned earlier. Again, you need to use essence. Designed and constructed by Project Janus scientists, Terminus features boat delivery portals allowing for an on-demand transportation around the vicinity of the main island, usually on a well-utilized dock or pier, as swimming in the choppy waters of the ocean under current circumstances is possible but not advised. The tactical raft is the fastest way to reach the outer islands and the abandoned shipwreck as further discoveries are made. As swimming into the choppy waters of the ocean under current circumstances is possible but not advised, the tactical raft is the fastest way to reach the outer islands and the abandoned shipwreck as further discoveries are made. So you can go out and swim, but I'm guessing that there's maybe going to be tentacle creatures like we see in the gameplay in there and other things that are going to attack you, so it doesn't seem like a good idea to go out there, but I'm sure there's probably going to be some Easter eggs specifically if you go out there and some challenges which I'm excited to learn about. We had swimming in Zetsubo Noshima and we I guess had it a little bit in Outbreak as well. It's not really been utilized well since they introduced swimming mechanics, and this map seems to be taking full advantage. Now we have trials, which again you use essence for, and it's a Project Janus trial. I really like the design of the machine. So phasing in and out of reality across the map is an odd and intriguing terminal, allows you to complete redacted special objective trials. With enough essence, you can activate a terminal unit and begin a short challenge. This could involve holding a specific zone, dispatching enemies in a skillful manner, or a host of other conditions. Succeed and special chest warps into reality, offering up redacted variety of interesting rewards. The computer is then beamed out of existence, only to periodically return for further trials to be completed. So yeah, it's not something you can do at all times like in Cold War Zombies. I remember I was just doing trials for endless, especially in Outbreak. But yeah, it's going to be a lot more limited now. But yeah, I love the design of it. That looks so cool. Actually, upon inspection of the trials machine, it actually says Sam Trials on it. So what on earth does this mean? Is Sam actually going to communicate to us through the trials machine, talking to us? Is she going to be giving us different trials to then give us rewards while she's trapped in the dark ether? And why would Project Janus be facilitating this? So we're going to be hearing of Samantha throughout the game. I didn't even notice this when first looking, so this is crazy. We of course know Requiem tried to rescue her during this game, but they ultimately failed. So most likely the trials are going to be the method of communication. She's going to be communicating to us throughout. Is she working with Richtofen on Janus? Again, I'm kind of confused why it's a Janus trial machine, or maybe she's just hacked into it. It was created for another purpose and she's managed to take control. Is Sam in control of the zombies still? What is going on? Did Richtofen harness her powers to be used for this somehow? Now we have power-ups. So yeah, these are the power-ups that are going to be in the game. So we have insta-kill, double points is back, max ammo does nuke, fire sale, bonus points, full power, and max armor. So there is no carpenter in the game. I don't even know if there are going to be barriers that you need to repair. There's no real mention of it here. It's a bit weird to not have carpenter, but yeah, it's not really a crazy thing. Now details on elemental damage. So these are for ammo mods or specific things. So we have frostback for cryo freeze, which slows or freezes zombies. We have fire, which bursts damage and damages them over time whilst they're on fire, which is with the napalm burst ammo mod or the molotov. We have electric, which stuns zombies and gives them area of effect damage, which is with the dead wire ammo mod. We have toxic, corruption and mind control, which is for the brain rot ammo mod. So this is just allows you to control a zombie. And finally we have shadow, which is with the new one, dark flare, and it gives gravity and associated damage. But this is with the dark flare field upgrade, but also with the shadow rift ammo mod or the LT-53 Casimir tactical equipment. So yeah, it will suck them into a portal portal, I'm sure you probably know what that is. Now regarding weapon rarity upgrades within the arsenal machine, you need salvage obviously, so you can upgrade your weapon rarity here with different amounts of salvage. So we have uncommon green, tier 2 damage, rare blue, tier 3 damage, epic purple, tier 4 damage, legendary orange, tier 5 damage, and we'll change the HUD color as well. We obviously have war buys around the map as well, and there's going to be different ones for different rarities. We have green, uncommon, blue, rare, purple, epic, or orange, the legendary. The more rounds you complete, the rarity increases. But yeah, because you can spawn in with a weapon loadout, they're not really as useful. Now regarding the armor levels, again, this is a war buy. You have level 2 armor, which is rare / blue, 2 plates can be worn. Level 3 armor vest, epic / purple, 3 plates can be worn. Now you have to manually equip the armor like Modern Warfare 3 zombies. You don't have to go to an armor station, but you can purchase the plates here, but you do have to manually apply them when you actually pick them up. Then the mystery box, of course, this is with essence. You get different weapon rarities. Of course, the rarity gets better the higher rounds you go. You can get a random weapon, a random wonder weapon, or a random support item, such as a score streak or something. Then the Pack-a-Punch machine. So of course you can upgrade your weapon to even better, and it will change the camo as well. There's different colored camos to get, and they look absolutely crazy. So you do need to turn on the power to be able to activate the Pack-a-Punch. Obviously, you can upgrade any of your primary or melee weapons up to 3 times, like I mentioned earlier. And like I mentioned earlier, there's no menu now because ammo mods are separated. And they did also say the actual firepower enhancements varies depending on the gun or melee weapon you are using. Occasionally comes with surprising effects, but usually increases the potency, chambered weapons, and ammo reserves of the weapon. So they're making it similar to past games where some weapons are not going to be that great when you Pack-a-Punch them. Some are going to be crazy. Generally, it's obviously going to make a weapon better, but some may not be that great. So they're adding a bit of a randomness aspect to it, and I can't wait to discover all of the secret ones. Now regarding the wonder weapons, we have the Beam Smasher that we got gameplay of. Incredibly rare and exceptionally potent. Occasionally you may uncover highly secretive plans to construct several prototype armaments with almost unimaginable power. Research on Terminus Island has uncovered the existence of just such a device known colloquially as a wonder weapon. Visually, the Beam Smasher is comparable in size and shape to a light machine gun and features a single barrel emitting a supercharged and incredibly damaging etheric beam. Set around the barrel of the resonator focus flaps that directs the energy created by the weapon is reloaded by swapping out the side-mounted DAP canister. It looks absolutely crazy. It even has like a little apothecary servant looking thing. I'm so glad they're adding back all of their different Cthulhu mythos type stuff into the game. So there's 2 different firing modes. So the primary one, this fires a solid beam of etheric energy, causing organic matter to break down at the molecular level. This occurs almost instantly, and enemies appear to explode in a cloud of vaporized innards. Further testing is needed, but it appears that the longer the weapon fires, the more ungainly it becomes to move. So yeah, you're not going to be able to use it for too long, because then it's going to become too difficult, and you probably going to get hoarded. I guess it's a good way of balancing the weapon. Then we have the secondary charge. Focused sound waves cause the molecules of multiple enemy targets to vibrate at alarmingly fast rates. Targets are racked with pulsing head trauma that incapacitates by slowing the target rather than damaging them. Entities in this state becoming much more easily damaged by both the primary fang mode and conventional firepower. Additional notes: this weapon may experience energy venting as excess pressure builds up during the expenditure of the ammunition tube. So I guess it's somewhat similar to the jet gun or whatever. You can't do it too much. Automatic reloading appears to cause a small blast radius and appears to knock down enemies within its vicinity. The weapon also appears to be able to be Pack-a-Punch 3 times once again, which will increase its redacted, not to mention redacted. So there's some secret, better properties that they haven't announced for Pack-a-Punching as well. You are also able to customize the Beam Smasher via Easter eggs. We're not sure what customization that options there are they just visual or gameplay? Now regarding the new bosses. Carver apparently says, "Give me a minute, I'm about to be up to my neck in blood, bones, and brains." So there are many different zombies that you can face off. So we obviously have the regular zombies, but they come in many different skins, such as Project Janus security attire, scientist lab coats, prisoner garb, torn garns, civilians clothing, hazmat suits, and they look very mutated to usual. More decomposed and mutated forms abound, and other more sinister variants appear across the rounds of horde combat. So here's the other different zombies that you are able to face on Terminus. This is not exclusive to Terminus. Some zombies, such as the armored zombie, which is one that is back, which is a more heavily protected zombie, is probably going to be on other maps as well, but not all of these zombie types are going to be available on any map. So the armored zombies are a variant that have protective covering and also take reduced damage from projectiles and explosive damage. Focused fire on a particular appendage is a possible effective plan here. We then have heavy zombies, armored zombie clads in greater protective armor, and are even better protected from projectiles and explosive damage compared to their lightly armored brethren. So people found these really annoying, but yeah, they are back. We then have some grotesque and tormented horrors with the new zombie types. So we have the vermin, and this is a scuttling spider-like human heads and bloated bile sacs. There's some really crazy eldritch monsters here. And by the way, Treyarch have said that if you have arachnophobia, you can actually turn it off so it changes the form of it so it's not as horrifying. And I'm perfectly fine with this. I know there's some weirdos like, oh, everyone complains about everything and they're trying to make everything soft, but it's literally an optional thing. You don't have to turn it off, it's just there if you want to. Why not? So vermin are large spider-like ravenous scuttlers with a central thorax that seems to take the form of a screaming human head. Relatively weak individually, they become more dangerous in packs and sometimes appear after detaching from a fallen zombie host. So they can actually break out of a zombie's head if it's in the midst of dying, but they will also regularly spawn. And yeah, these look absolutely horrifying. I'm glad I do not have arachnophobia. Yeah, they look absolutely crazy though. I love the design. I love the zombie head. They kind of remind me a bit of the denizens. So keep your head on a swivel lest you're dropped on. Vermin sprint and jump to inflict damage, mouth wide open with a wet growl. They've also been known to spit a caustic substance, but this is the least of your worries. Vermin also have the potential to evolve into another form, emitting gas elongated in their skull, thorax, and changing into an airborne terror, the parasite. So here we have the other enemy type, the parasite. So of course we had them in Shadows of Evil and other maps, but they look way more mutated and deformed than when we last saw them, of course, in Shadows of Evil and Revelation. So parasites are horrific flying creatures consisting of a toothy head attached to a spinally membrane-like wings and a bulging sack of flesh as an abdomen. So yeah, they have a head which is similar to the Apothecans and Keepers, once again, just like the Plague Hounds and all of these different zombies. They look all very similar. They seem to possess a level of cunning, preferring to remain at a distance, harassing you with a pelting of acid bile projectiles spat from the maw. Then we have Manglers back, but they are different to when we last saw them because these are actually greenlit by Project Janus, now armed with an Ethereum augmented cannon and prone to extended bouts of primal rage. It is these bipedal tanks that now roam part of the island, threatening all with a cannon that shoots multiple shoots and a vicious melee that anyone should steer well clear of. So I find it interesting they say parts of the island. Are they only going to spawn on specific parts of the map? They're not everywhere? I'm not exactly sure. Manglers are also able to drop their cannons, which you can pick up and use. Then we have the amalgams, which is so horrifying. It really reminds me of some of the things we saw in World War II zombies and Order. It's obviously an amalgamation of many different zombies all merged together. So the zenith of the body horror aesthetic, the amalgam is a form of fleshy deviancy that until now has defied explanation. Roughly over 8 feet in height and retained a general humanoid mass, this appears, to put it politely, to be the combined DNA of multiple individuals. It has multiple appendages, including heads, and growing from seemingly random locations. There are limbs in places there shouldn't be. Nothing about this hearsay of nature is quite right. Amalgams appear to be violent masses of flesh and sinew, emitting bellows from multiple heads. Up to 10 arms and 5 legs have been counted, and they seem to regenerate limbs previously shot off, which I'm sure will be annoying to deal with if they have a lot of health. They mainly try to absorb you or other zombies by stretching a cluster of limbs into a tendril to pull the victim into a more-like chest cavity. So it's very similar to the Mimic, but more of a mesh between different people or mutated zombies or whatever. Though not witnessed, it is theorized that should an amalgam be killed, it will spontaneously lose cohesion, exploding into sprays of blood, entrails, and innards. Now we have how high rounds are going to work in the game. So obviously you want to prepare for the high rounds. They don't really go too much in depth. Obviously the higher the rounds you go, the more hordes you will get, and on specific rounds, specific zombie types will spawn in. Now self-revives are limited to 3 in the game. Now a big thing is that you are able to leave and rejoin friends' games at any times. This is a big quality of life thing. And also you can pause the game, save your match, and carry on playing later. So this is perfect for high round players. You don't need to play the game for 3 days straight. You can just pause it, come back later. You can only have 1 saved game at a time though. I don't know if that's per map or any map. I'm not exactly sure in that regards, but yeah, you should only be able to have 1 save game, obviously. Otherwise you could just have many save games and jump in at any point or doing whatever you want. Now if you disconnect in a solo game, your game will be automatically saved as well. Perfect. And if you disconnect in a multiplayer game, you're able to rejoin their game too, and you can join in mid-match as well and jump straight in. So this is probably in response to Modern Warfare 3 zombies and crashing and losing all of your loot. Now regarding the terrors and traps on Terminus. So there's lots of experimental things. So we see, for example, different test tubes where Richtofen has all of these bloated corpses suspended in amniotic fluid twitch and peer at you from large experimentation vats. So you'll have jump scares when you're looking in them. They'll sometimes move. Different body bags as well around the map will twitch on gurneys. We actually saw this in the gameplay trailer. Also, whilst you're exploring the map, you'll see the last members of the Project Janus security forces being pounced and ravaged to death as the entire base is lost to a zombie outbreak. So the world is going to be very dynamic. There's going to be lots of Easter eggs and things to uncover, and I wonder if an Easter egg step is going to revolve around us trying to rescue some of these Project Janus security forces as they're being attacked. So we have a new tentacle trap, which looks so creepy. Like I said, I just love all of these Lovecraftian, eldritch-like things. Located across the prison complex on the main island are a number of ceiling containment shutter vents. These seem to be holding back an blank, so it's redacted, so we're not actually sure what this creature is called. Perhaps something that has escaped from containment. Activate a switch to open the shutter vents, and long, limb-like tendril appendages seep through and dangle, waiting to be brushed again. So this was leaked ages ago. Perpetually hungry, any zombies wandering under these tentacles are grabbed and dragged upwards into the vent for a bloody feasting. And I'm guessing that it can also grab you if you go in. So I wonder if there's any Easter egg regarding that or anything particular that you can do that. Now we also have a void cannon trap. After the fortification of the island in 1942, a 16-inch artillery defense cannon was left to rust in the elements. So recently upgraded and improved by Project Janus forces in an attempt to weaponize Ethereum, this battery now serves as a devastating trap, providing you have the necessary power as the cannon now shoots out an Ethereum beam. The muzzle flash acting as a singularity that slows enemy movement and pulls any zombie enemies that are present within the dark area beneath the cannon up into the beam before they are vaporized. So again, it's just like the Gersh device, but on a massive, massive scale. And I really wonder what was going on in the island in the 40s up until the 90s, and we'll probably learn about that in the intel in the game. Now, there's also something known as the tentacle that we see if you take the raft. So where there's smoke, there's fire. Or in this case, where there's an alarming, choking, lightning imbued cloud of toxic smog, there's a monstrosity-sized, writhing tendril intent on capsizing tactical raft. So it can actually tip your boat in the game, and that's going to be absolutely crazy if you're getting attacked. And this is why you don't want to swim into the water, because this thing might attack you. This worm-like crime against nature seems possessed by a proto-intelligence of sorts, spitted out a billowing spray of noxious vapors from its hideous, splayed maw before quickly retreating beneath the waves. Venture off the main island or into the water at your own risk. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be the final boss fight for the map as well. When we try and exfil, it's probably going to be trying to attack our helicopter or something of the sorts. Of course, with the main Easter egg, the main goal on the map is us trying to restore the power, activate the Pack-a-Punch machine, trying to rescue Maya's brother as well, who's apparently been taken captive, and there's probably some other side things to do. And yeah, I wonder why we would even, at least canon storyline wise, why we would exfil before we've rescued Maya's brother. She's obviously quite annoyed. Now, dig sites from Origins are also returning. You see them in the gameplay, so you can get different loot from here, or bad things like grenades, and there's probably going to be Easter egg items in these dig sites too. We do also know that there's going to be the Dark Ether in some way, because we see it on Mr. Peak's teaser video clip that we saw. We see the Dark Ether, and the pods from Shadows of Evil can be seen in the background, so they're going to be back for loot as well. I don't know if this is going to be on Terminus or Liberty Falls. I assume probably Liberty Falls, assuming that's the spot where there's a Dark Ether gateway, but at least on one of the maps it seems like we're probably going to be able to access the Dark Ether. That is pretty much everything there, so we're waiting now until COD Next for the Terminus reveal. We have another image of it here. It looks so cool, and we also now have access to the Reflect 115 camo pack if you pre-order the game, which you can get access to right now. And that's everything. So like I said, we have more storyline information and more stuff is coming out, so I'll be sure to cover them in future videos, but this is everything that's been announced right now. I know it's been a lot to digest, so like I said, I'll be trying to digest this over the coming days and hopefully learn more details, and I'll go more in depth on specific things if you're confused. So yeah, I'll have lots of videos coming soon. I am busy over the next few days, but as soon as I'm back, I have so much to cover, so stay tuned on the channel. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.